Big night tonight on NXT, and if you don't think you're going to join us, you should stop resisting and join us for the NXT After Show right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Don't go back to your vehicles. It's the NXT After Show right here on AFTERBUZZ TV. We're talking about a big show that happened tonight. A great show. Yeah. We're actually really excited about it because a lot of good stuff happened on it.
Full of guest stars.
Yeah.
Intrigue.
Guest stars like Mauro Ranallo, who is he's actually now permanent.
Huge return.
Huge, yeah.
Oh, and speaking of huge returns, I'm back, baby.
Yeah, Hobo's back.
Yay.
Look at this guy.
You missed me. It's been like forever.
We missed you for sure.
We did.
Oh yeah.
It's like hypnotism. You missed me.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us on the NXT After Show. Let's get to introductions. I'm one of your hosts here, and it's Mark Donica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark Donica. It's really hot in here, so we're gonna try to blaze through this show before we blaze our set. What?
We're gonna.
No. It's 421. The returning True Hobo's here.
Yep, I'm here at True Hobo on the Twitter. Everybody knows the Hobo.
Everybody
cross both spectrums of this great land. I have wrestled in as far west and as far east as you could possibly go in this country.
In a month.
In the month of June.
Yeah.
It's been a good month.
That's pretty spectacular.
Well,
pretty killer.
Wouldn't the farthest east and the farthest west you can go be the same place?
No, in the United States,
okay,
in this country.
Okay, got it.
Yes, it would be 180 degrees on the other side of the globe from right here.
Good.
Nailed it. Hi, Bill Hanstock.
Hello.
I missed you. Because you weren't here last week either.
I guess I wasn't here.
Yeah, we had Denise
Now you're
Salcedo
doing the globe.
Well, the good news is that this week everyone will watch us slowly melt.
Seriously.
We're just going to be here.
Every once in a while there will be a puff of air and we'll be like,
Just going to be
like
here
you.
sweating. My underboob stains just getting.
Hey man, that boob sweat's a real deal. I got the waterfall from my pecs.
Yeah.
Because it just all streams right down the center.
You also stood under a waterfall in Hawaii.
I did. Yes, I was imbued with the spirit of the native peoples of Hawaii standing under that waterfall. I am at least twice the warrior I was when I left here. You are here to witness the best version of Hobo that there could possibly ever be.
That's unfortunate. So,
it's all downhill from here.
Exactly.
I cornered myself into saying.
Seriously. But if it's hot in your neck of the woods, why don't you go to nxteam.spreadshirt.com, pick yourself a brand new shirt, because we have some new stuff up there. I just put up the Wrestling Professional one.
Oh, it's a good one.
Yeah, it's good. If you're not a professional wrestler, you can be a wrestling professional. It's good. All the shirts are $20 and help us out.
Why wouldn't you want to represent the greatest wrestling AfterBuzz podcast team?
Yeah.
We are combined the absolute best podcast on wrestling that you could listen to. With our powers combined, we're the perfect reporter.
That's us. Yeah. We just need more piles of laundry behind us. Anyway, let's talk about tonight's show. A lot of fun. A lot of great stuff happening tonight.
Really
Don't
wild,
worry.
Man.
We'll get to that thing that you're thinking about. The show started with the Velveteen Dream versus Ho Ho Lun, and oh boy, did Ho Ho Lun get killed. He was a dead boy by the end of this.
He looked so happy backstage. He did.
He's just a boy.
He didn't deserve any of this. He's come so far, literally.
Yeah. My favorite thing about this is Dream looked legitimately just like insulted that Ho Ho Lun would even touch him. It's like he was going for the wrist lock and he's just like, what are you doing? Why are you touching me?
And he was wearing his earrings. He forgot to take off his earrings. You know, there comes a point when your accessories rule your life, and I think the Velveteen Dream is being ruled by his accessories, his dangly earrings.
I wouldn't mind being ruled by the Velveteen Dream.
He ruled Ho Ho Lun tonight.
The match was over in short order. He hit the great one-armed stalling vertical suplex.
Finished it in jackhammer fashion.
Yeah.
He hit the big elbow drop, which is looking better this week.
Better? It couldn't have been any better.
Right. No,
he almost killed him.
There are a couple of yeah. This week looked great. There's been some weeks it hasn't looked so great, but it looked great. And then he finished the match by... So, like...
It's a good transition.
Every part of your genitals, like all of the parts that you can think of that you own.
Roughly, yeah.
He put them all on his face.
He dragged
him. Yeah.
everything like across his yard, like a dog trying to scratch an itch on his underbelly.
Like when I say he put them all on his face, like in stages, like not all at once.
No.
Every discrete
It
part,
was motion, pause, motion, pause.
every discrete nook and cranny of his buffalo area got put onto Ho-Ho Loon's face.
He wanted him to remember it.
Yeah.
He was marking his territory. He was trying to get his scent to rub off. And if you want that to happen, you can't just go, oh, now it's it. You gotta rub it on real slow.
If Ho-Ho Loon could not read Braille with his face before...
Ron Corleone in chat says, Ho-Ho Loon, the male equivalent of Deanna Purrazzo.
The Chinese curse?
Yeah.
Ancient Chinese curse.
Now that James Ellsworth is a full-time manager, yeah.
But I mean, what do we think is next for Velveteen Dream? Like, who is his next opponent?
He's got to beat somebody who matters. I mean, he can run through everybody he wants and feel like a big man, but you're only as big as the man you beat. Mm-hmm. So he's got to beat a big man. I don't know who it's going to be.
Oh, no.
I don't have that answer.
Lars. What if it's him and I forgot his last name?
Lars Sullivan.
Lars Sullivan, yeah.
Oh, that guy.
No,
not yet.
I think you got to keep those two apart for the time being because you're trying to do two distinct things with those two gentlemen.
Yeah, if I were Velveteen, I would not want any part of Lars. That guy looks really weird. Like his body type is completely strange. He doesn't even look really tremendously human. I'm not sure what he looks like.
His blood type is caramel.
Could be, yeah. He's a very weird-looking guy, and a lot of power, too. Mm-hmm. It's kind of the scary part about Lars, but, I mean, Velveteen Dream in his own is no slouch. Sure. I think if it came down to those two, Velveteen would be able to outsmart him. That's what he has. He has the head game. He's got the mind advantage that a lot of the other people don't have. Mm. Everybody else is just a wrestler. Velveteen Dream is your worst nightmare and your greatest fantasy rolled up into a singular package.
Mostly fantasy, though.
Mostly package. A lot of people in the chat are calling for Dream versus No Way Jose.
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest.
Yeah,
actually,
I feel that.
It makes sense because although it's not completely clear, Velveteen Dream is a heel, and you know.
Well, he has he seemingly has no respect for his opponents.
Never.
It's just
with the dragging.
The reason that it's not clear, I mean, he's clearly a heel, but the reason it's not more overt at this point is because he hasn't gone up against an established babyface in the match yet, since, you know, getting kicked into full Velveteen Dream by Shinsuke Nakamura. That was the transition.
That's what happens.
Hey, unlocked the door.
Door into the mind.
Yeah.
So much like how Garfield the cat may very well be a woman, there's a lot of potential opponents for Google it. There's a lot of potential.
No, it's not the reference. It's just the
Oh, even the reference.
Where's the metaphor?
It's very hot in here.
It is.
I might be having a stroke.
Speaking of hot, how hot was Mauro Ranallo on the mic tonight?
Man.
Making his return. Well, people are saying return, but
some people don't like him, and some people like him a lot, and it's basically for the same reason. He pours all of his energy into the show. Everything that he has, he puts forth on that microphone, and because of that, you're either going to love him or you're going to hate him. You can't have a neutral stance when it comes to Mauro Ranallo. Mm-hmm. Now, me personally, absolutely love him. The way he's able to call things, he makes the ridiculous sublime. Just by saying things that are, they're dumb. He says dumb things. But when you say it with that amount of energy and emphasis, they become absolutely great. It's a signature now. I'm happy to see him back.
Me too.
This is where he belongs. But he stands out almost too much next to his contemporaries, and for that, he might have a difficult time.
I kind of agree with that, but I think his energy level works with Nigel. at the very least, and Percy still. Him being relatively new to this compared to the other two guys, he has an amazing opportunity to learn from these two titans of the commentary world, and I think that this team can become the definitive broadcast team of NXT for this new generation, for this next step of NXT.
If Percy finds his niche, I 100% agree. Until then, he's the odd man out. It's he's a third wheel, as you were, but. If he figures it out, we will have something truly special.
I had no idea that Percy's niche was missing. His sister must be distraught.
Yeah, they're looking all over the place.
I will say that, Bill, you've thrown our chat into chaos by mentioning Garfield. It's like, no. Garfield's the guy. Nermal, we have no idea who Nermal... If you don't know Nermal, get on our Garfield
game. Come on, the Nermal.
If you don't know Nermal, you can get shipped to Abu Dhabi. So
Nermal's the cutest. That's the gimmick. All right, so after this, we have an amazing segment for several reasons, where Asuka's driving in, they're interviewing about the match tonight. Stop. Pan over, and Nikki's just on the hood of the car like, get out! And then when Asuka tries to get out, she's like, stay in there!
The driver's like, I'm going to call security.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was me. I was working security for
someone who looks
the
a lot
afternoon.
like you.
All right, so
No, it was me.
Okay.
No, I put on a different voice.
Right, sure.
But it's me.
it's the voice you've been working on for years.
Yeah, it's that one.
It's that guy, that normal guy voice you do. Yeah.
Normal guy.
Normal guy voice.
Really is.
On all his forums, his name is Normal Guy 415.
It's a picture.
415.
Yeah.
It's a picture of him with whiskers and says, "I hate Mondays." But tell us about so how did you get to work security for NXT?
Well, I was stationed at the door. Like I got called. It's no secret I was in Florida, and they found out, of course, like they would. So they brought me in to work on the show for the day. So they wanted me to work security. I was stationed at the front door, and that segment was shot with Asuka's car coming up through the gate, which is right at the very front of Full Sail Live. And all of a sudden, Nikki Cross comes out of nowhere and jumps on the hood, like she does. That's a completely normal Nikki Cross move, I guess. Yeah. The unusual part is then seeing me tear her off of the car.
Especially in first person.
Yeah.
As yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of normal. I'm used to getting hired to do weird things. You hire the hobo. You hire the hobo to
they did.
do manual labor, security, damn near anything. So you hire the hobo, and I was security for the day. I peel her off. It takes 3 of us to get her off and make sure that Asuka doesn't come in between and cause any sort of trouble. But my God, she put up one hell of a fight. She ended up pulling one of the guards' hair and trying to tear into his face.
And not you, surprisingly, with all your hair, she didn't get any of yours.
I was lucky. Like I'm used to handling it, so I hooked the arm and I kept it nice and barred so that there was no way she was gonna get a good hold of me. Though she did try. She was just so strong, so small, so strong, so fierce.
Like a fire plug.
Yeah, so we finally separate her. We tear her away, put her back in the building, and then we kind of separate, and she's fine, and she kind of goes off. But it was...
It's like you keep her away, and she forgets that Asuka was over there, and she's like, all right.
No, she didn't forget. She was kind of in a huff. She wanted to take a chunk out of her. Asuka was controlled enough, thank God. If I had to deal with Asuka getting involved, I don't know if I'd be here to tell the tale. Probably would have had to go to the hospital.
Maybe.
But yeah, so it's...
Or the Oskipital.
Oskipital. That's not a...
Hi, Kathy.
Dude, like, today was such a big day for AfterBuzz when it comes to NXT.
Yeah.
Because Kathy debuted her new show, which featured Sonya and Christy, and then you had a security spot at NXT.
Yeah. Weird. Very weird. We're doing okay. We're doing all
doing
right.
okay at the AfterBuzz TV.
Worldwide.
Worldwide in Florida.
Well, I mean...
The world is watching.
Universal.
In chat, Courteous says Samoa Joe had been telling Real to get better security, and he gets a hobo.
Hey man, you can't argue with arms this big. Like, if you want security, I got it. I can hold you so tight, baby. So tight. Make you feel so secure. So very safe.
Baby.
Baby.
We got a look at Itami and Oni's match 3 weeks ago where Itami just kept hitting go to sleeps.
That was brutal.
And then we'll come back after the show and talk a little bit more about your experience at Full Sail. And then we got in Regal's office, we got our Beef Boys and the Authors of Pain facing off. Regal said, hey, they've proven that they deserve a title shot, and in 2 weeks we're going to be getting literally the biggest match in NXT history.
I hope they reinforce the ring.
I hope so too.
And Otis Dozovic said, "Who's your biggest dude?"
Like he's the world's biggest baby. See how I speak English?
Okay,
Beef
Otis
baby.
Dozovic is both Patton Oswalt and I don't remember the other guy, but they recreated the two babies talking at the refrigerator. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, ba, 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 ba.
Really quickly, last thing about the Nikki thing, just because our boy Ron had mentioned it. Nikki didn't attack Hobo because her sense went off and she recognized him as one of her kind. Game recognized game. Hobo could be a part of Sanity as the American member.
Yeah, no, you can smell it on me. I have sanity all over me.
Today you can smell it on all of
You can smell it on all of us.
Yeah.
It's very warm.
Yeah, baby.
Wish I could smell the Velveteen Dream.
Can we sell this on
Musk on NXT.spreadshirt.com?
We can do mugs. We can do like all sorts of different
Musk
stuff.
mugs?
Musk
Do you guys
mugs.
remember when they used to sell little jars of Elvis sweat?
Nah, man. I'm not quite.
No, you're not old. Okay, fine.
Yeah. I'm a time traveler, which means I skipped some years. I skipped those.
You skipped the years that Elvis's sweat was available on the open market.
Yeah, well, I traveled.
you gotta give and take.
It was the 30s. I came here from the 30s, and I showed up about 2008.
I bet it wasn't really Elvis's sweat.
I mean, more than likely.
Well, did you taste it? Was it at least salty?
I didn't buy any.
Then why are you even telling me?
Why are we having this
Every
conversation?
drugstore.
They had them in
Yeah.
drugstores?
Yeah.
Was it like a cure-all?
No, it was just on the same rack as like sunglasses and stuff. Look,
Like it is.
the 80s were weird. Watch
And-
Glow.
Watch
You
Glow.
don't say.
Watch Glow. Coke robot.
Dude,
What Jurassic cocoon did you find them guys in? It's like a vaudeville act.
look at him. He's a vaudeville in.
There's something there.
There's legs there.
I'm getting sweat all over the table.
Yeah, me
So
too.
say we all. I feel so like the next panel in here is just is a bunch of ladies. They're not. It's not going to be good for them. Regal warns them to get prepared because them some big beefy boys.
I want them to recast. I mean, I don't want them to recast Paul Ellering, but if they're gonna recast Paul Ellering, I nominate Nick Kroll.
Yeah, you know what?
Because it's like a
Nick Kroll in a skull cap?
Because
Sure.
Paul Ellering is just the exact midpoint between Gil Faison and Bobby Bottle Service.
Did it hurt pulling that hard? That was a big pull.
No.
No, I follow.
Oh, Hello on Broadway is on Netflix now. It's not that obscure. at
Okay,
all.
all right.
Yeah, no, it's on. It's real.
Guys, we might have to end this early.
Yeah, we're messed up. So let's get a little bit of insight on this one.
Yeah.
Hideo Itami versus Oni Lorcan. Oni busts Itami
crap.
open.
There's
Looks
a
like
lot
he
I
breaks
can tell
his
you about
nose
this match.
with an uppercut. Match gets stopped. Ref stops the match and take him
Yeah.
to the back.
No, it was. It played out essentially exactly like you saw it. Match starts. Oni destroys his nose, and they stop the match. It was both incredibly climactic and anticlimactic all at the same time. Itami just wanted to fight. He did not care that his face was in complete and utter disarray. They pull him out of the match. He has no choice but to go to the back. Lorcan's like, hey man, I'm still here. So I think technically Lorcan took a win there.
Oh, he did.
Because
I would say so.
Because Itami wasn't able to continue. So I'm backstage. They pull Itami out, and it is a bloodbath. They cannot stop his nose from bleeding everywhere. It's broken. I mean, they didn't have the time to sort it out, but there was enough time for them to get the bleeding to stop. Now, the way the segments play out, it's this thing, a break, and then he comes right back.
Look at Roddy challenging for the title.
Yeah.
Because we need to be reminded.
There was,
We'll talk about it because there was another one.
Okay.
There was a significant amount of time that passed between when that match stopped and when it restarted.
Yeah.
So it was just enough time for the medics to completely pack Itami's nose full of gauze to stop it from bleeding everywhere. But I still don't know how he was breathing.
That's what I want to ask.
When you get back into the match, it's almost impossible.
So Hideo comes back out, goads Oni to come back down to the ring, and despite like plugging the nose, as we well know, William Regal said on commentary a long time ago, you need air to wrestle.
True.
It's
Can't breathe, can't fight.
No, that's the thing. So you get rid of your nose.
Yeah, you take off your nose.
Just take it off. You just leave. Does plugging his nose like that ultimately help or hinder him?
Hinder in a big way.
Like, despite the aggression that he was fighting with, I figure that gets you more blown up faster.
Absolutely, because you're just breathing through your mouth.
Yeah.
You have to control your breathing, especially in a wrestling ring. It's a lot of timing with your breathing in order to get your body to function in a certain way. When you're teaching people to wrestle, you have to breathe now, you have to exhale now, you have to breathe now. And you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, because if you just breathe out through your mouth, you're panting like a dog, you blow up and you black out. So I don't know how he was able to sustain his attack through all of this. And he was in the driver's seat the second half of, well, let's call it the second time this match happened.
Yeah.
He was in the driver's seat for the vast majority. He really just sort of kept going, which shows you what an absolute badass this man is. Hideo Itami is a gladiator, a real gladiator. And Oni Lorcan just does not ever pull any punches. He 100% goes. The way that match started, he flew at his opponent and just splattered his nose all over his face.
And despite getting the loss in the second match, I think this does huge for Oni.
It made them both look like complete badasses.
Sure.
This is the kind of wrestling that makes you really wonder if this is fake or if this is real. Because you suddenly don't know. A man has been injured very really in a ring, and the other guy wants to fight him still, and then they fight again, and they are kicking the crap out of each other. And you go, what? Is this real? Is this actually happening? And all you have to do is just sit and watch the carnage, but it rubs off on you. That's professional wrestling. Because you know it's not real, but then something like this happens and you question what reality really is.
Question everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This was just magic. 100% ferocity from both of these guys. Oni ends up dropping down, seemingly hurt his knee.
It was that shot, man.
Yeah.
Itami, he's not without throwing a cheap shot. So the referee's there. He's in between. The referee's in between Oni and Hideo, and he's shot to the knee, bam, right to the completely extended knee, which will cause it to hyperextend and do a lot of damage. And that was where things really started to head downhill for Oni Lorcan.
I mean, Itami got the GTS for the win. That was that.
And he got all that GTS, too.
Yeah, I don't want to... or rather, I don't want to see this end. I want to see more of these guys. But despite that, Itami calls out Cassius. They have a little bit of a face-off. Nikki Cross out of nowhere distracts the two of them.
Yeah.
And then Wolf and Dane come out and talk about this master stroke that's about to start being played for Sanity, and that the first note is going to be played by Nikki. Beats the two of them up. They get out. We find out in the middle of the main event that there's going to be a tag match next week. Cassius and Itami versus Wolf and Dane. I kind of called it last week, I guess.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I suppose you did.
It's not like this, but you know, something similar, something cool. Hey, in case we didn't know, next week we're gonna get an NXT Championship match with Roderick Strong and Bobby Roode.
Pretty big deal.
It's yeah.
This has been trying to heat up on screen. I don't know. I haven't quite bit. I'm not quite
the bit backstage where Bobby was taking pictures and there was the big brawl. I like that a lot. That was really cool.
Yeah.
It's a step in the right direction. But the fact that we didn't get anything but a recap this week, I think if we saved that for this week and had that be like the final
kind of the go home.
Yeah. Because all we got was what happened last week. So we didn't really get a like, oh yeah, that happened. That was cool.
Yeah.
All right, so next week, cool. All right.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I don't have anything but an expectation of this being a great match, but the emotional angle, it doesn't connect with me,
Yeah.
and that's the only thing I can really say about it. It just doesn't connect. I don't feel for Roderick Strong. I believe that Bobby Roode is that grandiose, self-righteous, son of a gun. But I don't buy Roddy as being anything other than, just a wrestler. And I think that's what they should focus on. What makes him really special? What makes him better than Bobby Roode? He has been doing this literally his entire life. Forget the wife, forget the kids. He is maybe the greatest wrestler in NXT.
Yeah.
Because he has been doing this, hands down, the absolute longest. So why shouldn't he have the championship? Absolutely. He is the most qualified man to be NXT champion. So for that reason alone, he should be champion, and I would buy that. You get the wife, the kid involved. No, you're hamming it. You're just hamming it up. It's unnecessary in my view.
Bill, what do you think going into this match next week?
Hey, we're gonna look. You're the championship.
He's got his work cut out for him.
Yeah.
I think one of the
He's going to be the next champion. Or not.
or will he? I think coming in with such fervor the way that he did, and then having Austin Aries get hurt, and Austin, it seemed like Austin could have handled the talking for the two of them, and then they could have run their tag team however far it would have gone. And then now we have a situation where he needs to get himself over, and I think Bobby Roode is doing the better job of talking for him. Like telling the story for him, and Rod's reaction is enough for me, But ultimately, this is going to be a pretty entertaining match, I figure.
No, yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah,
it'll be good.
We always hope for the best here on the NXT After Show. We're not trying to put anybody down. We have in the past been not so hot on Roderick Strong. We want him to succeed. We don't want anybody here to get fired or let go or to fail. We want Roderick Strong to succeed. Sure. And the audience that he is landing with isn't us. And I won't speak for y'all, but I wonder if he can land on the main roster, if he can land with that audience, with how he's doing now.
Maybe. He strikes me as a real Dean Malenko, and they're trying to paint him as something else. But he's Dean Malenko, He's a hell of a wrestler.
A lot of people pull resemblance to Daniel Bryan, a strong style, but there's Bryan had just shaking his head. No, Bryan had a little something extra that I think Roderick still needs to find. And we hope he does. We really do.
Yeah.
We're all looking forward to this match next week, and we hope that it just knocks everything out of the park, no matter who wins, because it could go either way. Because as you said, he's the best wrestler in NXT.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's a single person who could stand toe to toe with him on a technical level, at least on paper.
Yeah.
He's it. He's got it. But you need something extra, something a little more.
Speaking of a little more, let's talk a little bit more about Nikki Cross versus Asuka.
Holy
this
moly.
last woman standing match. Holy cow! It went all over. Well, not all over the place, but it went a lot of places in Full Sail Arena. This was phenomenal. Yeah. Like this seemed like an ultimate confrontation between these two.
I think it was one of the best matches of its kind done in a long time.
Last person standing match?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this, just the way it was constructed, it seemed to me like Nikki Cross was controlling where this match went. Asuka just seemed to go along for the ride in a lot of case. But it was Nikki Cross that was really pulling the strings and getting this match to go to a crazier and crazier place. It got ultimately very dangerous multiple times. I mean, legitimately dangerous.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch.
A lot of just ridiculous stuff back and forth. Asuka seemingly winning by the skin of her teeth, or getting up by the skin of her teeth, and then ultimately winning barely a second left.
She won for a second. And that's all you really need. Professional wrestling, you don't always have to be the best, but you have to be the best for a moment. And Asuka was the best for the moment that counted the most in this match. And she got to her feet and she won. Granted, she went crashing through the table. Nikki Cross went crashing through the table. I thought it was going to be a draw.
I did too.
That's
Keep it
what
going.
I was expecting.
Like, where do you go after a last woman standing match?
I
That's,
don't know.
That's the thing.
A duel in the parking lot. Pistols it down.
What? No.
Well,
That's death.
yeah, that's where you go after a match like this. Nikki Cross tried to kill Asuka.
The next match is like Nikki Cross trying to escape a jigsaw-like contraption.
Yeah.
With Asuka laughing in the back.
The power bomb onto the apron. The Tower of London on the floor. She's trying to beat her brains in.
Yeah,
She almost succeeded.
Because it looked like with that power bomb onto the chairs that Asuka nicked the back of her head on the
she
lip.
did.
Okay.
Oh, she definitely did. And that's for realsies. She smacked the back of her head nice and hard. It wasn't enough to knock her out, thank the Lord, but it was dangerous at best.
It was enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was so much fun. It was one of those ones where you just sit back and watch.
Yeah.
And because
All the chairs. I mean, you think to yourself...
It's different. Like we only see it in like a chairs match, but because with no disqualification matches, it's a kendo stick, maybe a table, and maybe a ladder. And maybe a fire extinguisher. But with this, it's like, you know what, just chairs.
Just piles. It's not like any of them were swinging chairs. It was just piles of chairs. 2 of them, to be exact.
Yep.
I thought Nikki's fatal mistake here was that she did not, just a couple weeks after discovering Asuka's true weakness, did not try and get Asuka wet. Like, she didn't try and douse her in water. Because clearly that's where you gotta...
I think she would have needed more water than was at her disposal at the time. You can get a bottle of water, 12 ounces, and throw it at her. But you need enough to drown her in.
Try purifying her in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Yeah.
To get Velveteen Dream involved. Like I mentioned...
No, Dream's just like, I know a place.
And all of a sudden they're there. Heat strokes getting the bill. Like I mentioned while we were watching the show, Aaron B in chat says a Punjabi prison match with Nikki and Asuka next. That's the next evolution.
A Glasgow prison match.
A Glasgow prison match.
She's made out of rocks and iron. It's hard to watch.
So no, it's like a Kennel Hell match, but instead it's just a bunch of drunks.
The Glasgow prison match is just Ramsay Bolton's castle from Game of Thrones.
They're just on the set.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Asuka is cold, isn't it?
Actually, first blood match.
Oh, yeah, we can't do that.
No.
We had a first blood match
Arnie and Hideo just
tonight.
had it.
This was great. It does, well, because of Ember Moon on the horizon, it does seem like it does
Terrible.
it does seem like this might be the last we see Nikki Cross versus Asuka for a little while, which sucks because this has been an awesome feud. It's been going for ever since the Fatal 4-Way with the Iconic ones.
There is, at this point, there's more and more speculation that Asuka might just never lose the title and will go up to the main roster and be like, Dunzo.
Yeah, I don't blame it.
Everybody loses. Everybody loses.
When is the finale for the Mae Young Classic? Is it after
September
SummerSlam?
12th.
Okay, so it's after SummerSlam. So if she wins at Brooklyn and then debuts the next week, they could make the final match for the NXT Women's Championship for the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah, they sure could.
True. Very true. Well, we'll have to see.
Or
We'll
much
to
like
see.
the Cruiserweight Classic of the UK tournament, they could just make a new belt.
Just make a belt.
Yep.
The Mae Young Championship, and it will be defended on shows.
Yeah.
Shows.
It'll be defended by whoever's on hand. That's dumb.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, so that was the show. Awesome show. We've talked a little bit candidly the past couple of weeks about how the show quality has been varying. This was super solid. This is great because we saw the stories being told.
When you
yeah.
go to Olive Garden, do you get super solid?
Yeah.
I hate you, bro.
Yes.
It's got nothing. It's one of those days, man.
I got nothing.
The air's only kicked on a couple of times. We're dying, man.
I just came back from Florida.
Pour your arms
I'm
down.
having like an Enter the Void situation right now, so I may have already died.
Are you
Have
getting
you
like
se-
tunnel vision?
Have you seen that episode where Homer of Simpsons, where Homer,
Coats the inside of his mouth with wax, eats the pepper.
Yeah, I'm seeing a Johnny Cash fox.
Coyote.
Nice.
No, it's a fox this time.
Coyote.
Coyote. So before we go, Hobo, do you want to talk a little bit more about your experience down in Full Sail? And if the folks have any questions,
Yeah, no, feel free to ask
that are
questions.
reasonable.
Interview me. Everybody is super nice. You know, everybody is so professional. Everybody is so very motivated to be the absolute best in that environment. And the depth of talent alone is just phenomenal. There are so many talented men and women down there that there's almost no way to showcase them all on this program as it is now. The best part is, though, that everybody is talented enough to compete on the main roster, and as a result, they'll be gone soon, and there will be spots available for the other talented professionals that are working constantly, toiling away at the Performance Center and on NXT television. It's it is the pinnacle. You want to work there. You can hear it said by a million individuals who have actually competed there and want to compete there. But once you have been there, you only then do you understand why. And I've been lucky enough to peer behind the curtain, work with, interact with all of these great talents, and if I am lucky enough, I will be back again, and I foresee myself perhaps going back, but only time can tell. Truly, only time can tell.
I'm sure you'll make your way back there.
Sure. But working in Florida was great. I really enjoyed my time there. I was able to work on 3 other shows while in Florida. I worked at ACW in Port Richey, Go Wrestling in Daytona, and then Tampa Bay Pro, which is directly attached to Jay Lethal's school out there in Tampa Bay.
Oh, dig it.
And all those individuals working there, incredibly welcoming, welcomed me with open arms, very accepting, and I will be happy to go back and work with them again, maybe even work more places. WXW's a place that's got some good buzz about it.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys that were additional security talent that day were from WXW because of the direct Samoan contact. That's is that Office School? I believe that's Office School. So there's a lot to do in Florida. There are a lot of different promotions. Florida is just rife with opportunity, which is why it's one of the hottest beds of professional wrestling is in Florida. And
Second hottest bed being in the
Right
studio.
here.
yeah, right here, baby. That's right. It's warm.
Blasted on again. Yeah, I seeing all your updates and getting a chance to talk to you while you were down there. It's
Yeah.
super happy for. And is there? Do you? Well, I guess we'll just transition to the end of the show because everybody is just happy that you got to do it. Yeah. Oh, like I mean, I guess should we talk about the? Yeah. You don't need to bless the news thing. But this past week, it was revealed that Jim Ross and Lita are going to be the announced team for the Mae Young Classic. Super looking forward to that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks great.
Strong.
And then as of this week, we have 9 women confirmed for the tournament. I'm just gonna read them all. Do you know how to pronounce some of these ladies' names?
Princess Sugahi.
Thank you. Toni Storm, Princess Suki, Lacey Evans, Sarah Logan, Tessa Blanchard, Abby Lath, Kavita Devi, Jazzy Gabbert,
Jazzy
Gabbert, and Tinera Conti. And as well, there's gonna be some qualifying matches that are gonna be airing.
A couple more in the coming weeks, and I'm sure the next 2 Fridays we're probably going to get some more news dumps about
sure.
it because
There
the
was a
filming
name
start on
change.
July 12th and 13th.
There was
Yeah.
a name
There were
change,
2
you know.
name changes on the.
Bianca Blair is now Bianca Belair.
Ah,
So it's a good one.
That's a
It's
good one.
And Danielle Camella has a new name.
Yes. What it is, I cannot recall.
We'll never know. So that'll do it for this week's episode of the NXT After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. But before we go, we're going to tell you where you can find us on Twitter and other projects that we may be working on. Bill?
Hi, you can find me on all social media at Sundown Motel. I'm the world's leading jerky influencer, so check out all of my
It's true.
all of my social media apparati. Check out all of our writing at uproxx.com, withspandex.com, uproxx.com/pro wrestling, and also check out nxt.spreadshirt.com, which is where you can find the stuff.
And that one you're wearing.
Yeah, the one I'm wearing. It's
a good one.
just covered in sweat. The one that you buy probably won't be.
But we can make
You
that
can
happen.
Yeah.
you can buy this one
You
covered
pay
in
extra,
sweat for
yeah.
slightly more money.
Ring used. And you can check me out on the Glow After Show, which this past week and then for the next 4 weeks, I'm going to cover 2 episodes per episode. On the Glow
Per after show. 2 episodes per after show.
Sunday, 3 p.m.
And this past week, we had Kia Stevens from the Netflix show and Hollywood from Glow, as well as it's hosted by Little Egypt, who's been a friend of the network for quite some time. It's
It's going to be a very fun show.
It's a very fun show so far, so make sure to check it out. Thank you, Bill. Hobo!
Yeah, Matt True Hobo on the social medias. This weekend, New Japan, Los Angeles, should be fun. I am going to be involved. There's no bones about that. One way or another, I'll be backstage and doing stuff.
He's so modest, but he's wrestling Kazuchika Okada on the second night.
You heard it here first.
Way to spoil that one.
So
AfterBuzz
modest.
TV exclusive.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
We'll both be, you won't be there.
I will not be there.
We will
Unfortunately.
both be there, so if you're there, say hello.
It's actually going to be.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure Jimbo's
Ty Matthews will
going.
be
Ty
there.
Matthews is going to be there. I think Sean Waltman's going to be there as well. Denise?
Yeah, Denise.
Is he going to be going too?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I didn't hear that. Awesome.
And I'll be a regular install on the Raw after show for after.
Yeah,
This
Hobo's
time.
coming back.
I'm picking it back up. There will be no show this Monday because it is so close to the 4th of July. But the next week I'll be there, baby.
Don't worry, you'll be there to promote it.
Yep.
And you can find me on Twitter at Mark B. Donica. That's Mark B. Donica. Make sure to head to nxt.spreadshirt.com. Bill already mentioned it, but I'm going to mention it again because it helps. you know. All of the shirts are now $20 even, super cheap. And I actually think this weekend is going to be a free shipping weekend. So make sure to stay tuned to that. Help us out, help yourself out, 'cause there's some great stuff on there. And also make sure to check out all of our other wrestling shows that we have our Raw After show that Hobo is now going to be a part of again. Tuesday Night SmackDown, we've got us on Wednesdays, Lucha Underground on Thursdays, and Xbox 12360, which is every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the AfterBuzz TV network. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the NXT After Show. We will see you at the pool, because it's hot in here.
Bye-bye!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Stop resisting!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.